Art of the Elements, Episode 7, Strontium. Today we're going to learn about the Scottish element, strontium. Strontium gets its name from the mineral from which it was first obtained, strontianite, which is named after the small mining village of Strontium, where it was first discovered in the lead mines back in 1790. Physicist Adair Crawford, who first discovered the mineral, said, "It is probable indeed that the Scotch mineral is a new species of earth which has not hitherto been sufficiently examined," i.e. meaning it was probably a new element. Strontium was eventually isolated in 1808 by Humphrey Davy, a man who discovered far more elements that he is more well known for. Strontium is now mainly used in fireworks because it has a fantastic bright red colour. It was also used for a long time in sugar production from sugar beets, largely in the second half of the 19th century, but used in Germany well into the 20th. Strontium's most important contribution to science is that it was one of the first elements that hinted at periodicity and that there could be a way for all the elements to be arranged. Every element has an atomic weight, and this is often written underneath the element symbol in the periodic table, so if you want to open up one now you can see what I'm talking about. This is the average mass of any given atom of the substance in what are called atomic mass units. These units are incredibly tiny, approximately 1 times 10 to the minus 24 of a gram, but are the only units that can be used on the atomic scale and give reasonable numbers. The long and short of it is that the atomic masses of calcium, strontium and barium are 40.7, 87.6 and 137.3 respectively. So the weight of strontium at 87.6 is roughly halfway between that of calcium and barium. It also has very similar chemistry to both of them. It was almost like strontium was a combination of calcium and barium. The man who discovered this is far from a famous chemist. In a way, he was just lucky. Johann Wolfgang Dobereiner was a man with no chemistry qualifications who had failed in numerous different areas before trying to turn his hand at chemistry, and he was picked for no apparent reason for a university post by none other than the famous German writer Goethe. He was appointed to his post in the early 19th century, just around the time that strontium had finally been isolated, and he chose to work with it as it was new and challenging. He found the relationship I mentioned earlier between what are now known as 3 of the group 2 elements, and called it a triad. He decided to look for more of these, and saw similar trends between chlorine, iodine and bromine, and sulfur, selenium and tellurium, which are now parts of groups 17 and 16 respectively, and these were the first hints that there was a way to categorise the elements more than just having floating elements which are each their own, and that there was perhaps properties shared between them and that they could be ordered in some sort of structure. So these triads did form part of Mendelev's first table, but he didn't make his first table until the 1860s, a full 50 years after Dobereiner discovered these triads. So why did no one manage to do this in the earlier 50 years? Well, people began to think that there was more to these triads, and started looking for all sorts of groups of 3, which turned out to be largely wrong. They were influenced at the time by a lot of other scientific thought around the metaphysics of numbers, and particularly things put forward by Pythagoras, and even more archaic things such as alchemy and Christianity, which obviously we don't see much of in science these days. So these extra triads they started searching for turned out to be largely wrong, so it took a new approach from Mendeleev to create the table, and that's what I'm going to cover in the next episode. Hope you've enjoyed the episode. Sorry that it's been a while since the last one. I've been busy doing other things. If you enjoy these, please subscribe, leave comments, etc. And I'll see you